Hello, friends. Welcome to Party XP, our gaming, media, movie enjoyment podcast hosted by me, Lakan, and my friend Jeff. Say hi, Jeff.
Hi, Jeff.
So it's been a little while now since we've gotten back together for another recording. How have you been?
Oh, I've been all right. Weddings and the like. How are you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I think I've got a little bit of a cold here going on. So I've gotten slammed by allergies the last couple of weeks, and now it's a cold, so that's fun. I'm just, just permanently congested at this point.
Yeah, we're 0 for 3 on these shows lately. We always sound congested.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think our previous one, we felt okay for the most part. And then, we got caught up again by everything.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I mowed the lawn a couple days ago and just started feeling like my eyes are watering. I was like, I can't touch anything. Let me let me finish this, run back inside. I'll be good to go. And then I just suffered for the next 20 minutes or so afterwards.
Yeah, I could feel my nasal passages clenching when I was outside talking to my father before I came home. And yeah, allergies suck.
Even on my bike rides, like when I see landscaping guys and I always see them trimming down hedges or blowing with the leaf blower to blow the cut grass off the lawn, I just get nervous. I'm like, I'm gonna drive through that in a second. And then I'm just gonna suffer for the rest of my bike ride.
Yeah, how do they live? How are they able to do it and not feel it while the rest of us suffer?
I guess they just do it all the time, so maybe they're just used to it. I guess at that point,
maybe
they just push through.
I guess, yeah.
I'm over here being a baby about it. Our allergies and cold sufferings aside, let's get back into our video game pitches over here. First episode, or my first pitch, threw you into a roguelike game, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
My first game that I played was Slay the Spire.
Yeah, and you mentioned before that you hadn't played too many roguelikes before that, right? You said you played Hades and a couple other, not as good ones, essentially, right?
Correct.
I'm going to throw another one in here, just since, you don't have a lot of roguelikes under your belt. This is a really, really fantastic game. I love this game. It's called Crypt, the Necrodancer. Have you ever heard of it?
I have heard of it. I have wanted to play it. I am a big rhythm game guy, so a rhythm game roguelike sounds like a blast.
Yeah, when I first saw this game's been around for a little while. It's a roguelike rhythm game. It's developed and published by Canadian independent game studio Brace Yourself Games, led by Ryan Clark. Fun fact, I met Ryan Clark at PAX East this year, so that was really cool. I got him to sign a couple figurines that I bought from their booth. They made a couple games. Crypt of the Necrodancer was the first one that blew up for them, I guess. I don't exactly remember the timeline. I know one of the games is still currently in development from them. But Crypt of the Necrodancer, Phantom Brigade, which is a tactical RPG, Industries of Titan, which is like a strategy. It's not real-time strategy because you can pause the game to really think out your terms. And then you might have heard of this one, Cadence of Hyrule, since that one came out on Switch.
Yeah, so that would be like the Zelda themed one, right?
Yeah. It had a little bit of a hype around it when it first came out because it was the first time I think Nintendo allowed their property to be used by an indie game, collaborated with them in that sense, I guess. So it had a little bit of hype around when that happened. So this game was released in early access 2014, came out on the PS4 and the Vita in 2016, the Xbox One in 2017, and then the Switch on the 2018 with a new character and co-op function in the Switch version only. I don't recall if I ever saw that function. Actually, no, I did see that function on the Switch. I do recall seeing that second player function on the Switch. I bought this game on Steam initially, and then I bought it again for the Switch. But I'm not sure if co-op function ever got put in to the PC version of this game. So I gotta go back and check that out at one point.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. And then there was also a prequel expansion in 2017, where you play as Nocturne as a different character, with new music, characters, and items that drop in the world. Do you know much about this game other than the fact that it's a rhythm game?
I have seen a little bit of it. I know that it's sort of like an overhead, top-down 2D. Kind of looks like Link to the Past in that regard.
A little bit,
and
yeah.
From what I recall, the movement you have to time to the beat. Maybe I'm not quite sure, but that's about the extent of my knowledge on the game.
Yeah, so you kind of hit the simple parts of it, just dead on the nose. So it's a dungeon exploration game with beat matching rhythm game mechanics. To move around, you press up, down, left, or right on your keyboard. You can do, I believe you can do WASD or the arrow keys, the arrow cluster. And to use items, you do combinations and stuff like up and left, up and right, down and left, down and right, depending on what you're doing, like at the same time to use different items. You can only perform in-game actions on the beat as you travel around a multiple level dungeon that is procedurally generated. The monsters in the game move in predetermined patterns, and you can learn those patterns to attack or avoid them. Weapons, armor, and usables. So again, it's like a dungeon crawler, right? So you move around, you kill enemies, they drop money. You can find weapons and armor in chests. And you basically just walk on top of them, and your character will automatically equip them, and then drop the previous item if you had one already on you. So you can kind of do a little bit of bounce up and down on the same spot kind of deal to stall and keep looking at the stats of the pickup instead, like the armor or the weapon, in comparison to your weapon. Eventually, once you play enough, you kind of remember how much damage does each individual weapon do. So you don't have to worry about like hovering up and down so you don't lose your multiplier. There are items in the game that do provide permanent character upgrades using diamonds. So I guess it has like a little bit of like a roguelite element to it. I believe you can use the diamonds for extra hearts. You can unlock them for other weapons that'll drop in the dungeon. Kind of like how if you play Slay the Spire, and once you've gotten to a certain level, like it'll unlock another 3 or 4 cards for you, and another relic or something like that.
Right.
So it's like something that'll change, it basically expand the amount of stuff you can possibly see later on down the line if you keep playing. The dungeon's 4 zones and 4 levels each, and you unlock zones 2 through 4 by clearing the previous one. As you're exploring the dungeons, you are basically just looking for the exit. There's always going to be like a staircase down to the next level, and you're going to be killing enemies on the way, collecting gold and diamonds, and looking for items and chests and weapons. And there's also a merchant in every level. You'll once you get closer to him, you'll hear him singing to whatever song is on that level, and then he'll get louder and louder the closer and closer you get to him. Levels are timed, so you can't just kind of stay in one level and farm it, because also there's only a certain amount of enemies in every level.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So the way that it's timed is that each song has an actual length. Like it's not just like a loop, like a perma loop. You know what I mean? If you play like any other game, right, and you just kind of hang out in an area where they're
right. Like eventually your time runs out.
Yeah, like your time will run out in the fact that the song will literally end, and then your character will fall through a trap door and force you into the next level. So hopefully you've picked up everything you needed to in that previous level. All the gold, all the weapons you want, bought from the merchant, found all the diamonds. Hopefully you've done all that before the song ends and you get forced into the next level, basically. And
at least it progresses you forward and not, you don't have to start from scratch again. Yeah.
Again, once you get more of a feel of the game and how the game goes, you realize what weapons you do like, which armor is stronger, stuff like that, other usable items that you prefer. You'll just remember which ones are which. You'll pick them up kind of instinctually and just kind of pocket them. And then any other items on the ground, you don't worry about them anymore, because they're going to disappear when you get forced to the next level. That being said, you can see those items spawn again in the next level.
Can I sell items to that vendor guy?
No, you can't sell any items to him. All you can really do to him is buy gear. And there are also shrines in some of the maps where it says like sacrifice blood, gain a weapon. So that could mean either you touch the shrine to hurt yourself and lose some health, and it'll give you something, or you kill enemies in front of it to give you a weapon.
That's clever.
Yeah, kind of a cool mechanic. It's like a blood shrine, but it doesn't have to be your blood, which is kind
right.
of cool.
It doesn't matter whose blood it is.
As long as it's somebody's, you'll get something out of it. And so after you finish the zone or you die, you get sent back to the lobby. And the lobby is where you spend your diamonds. Those are the one currency that continues until you leave for another run. So say I have 10 diamonds, I go back to the lobby, I spend 6 diamonds. The 4 that I don't spend, if I start another run, will be lost.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but that being said, early on diamonds are a little hard to get, but once you've kind of realized where they are in the map, and you play more and more runs, you kind of realize, oh, okay, I know how to get these now. And especially on the higher level or the higher level zones, zone 3, 4, 5, diamonds are way more plentiful. So it kind of like basically the way the game progresses, like the further ahead you go in the game, the harder sections you play, the more rewards you. Like you get better weapons usually, more diamonds, more rewards, because you're playing in a harder area. So it has a bit of like a power curve, or like like a scaling difficulty. There's a all zones mode, which is more of like a typical roguelike. So I mentioned before, right? Like I guess once you finish the zone, you get sent back to the lobby, right? So it's more of like a shorter session. But in other roguelikes, you basically start from 0 and go to the end, right? That's kind of like how a run goes. Like you saw that in Slay the Spire. You can kind of save at a spot, but like if you died at Act 2, you don't start at Act 2 anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah, so there is a way to play this more like a typical roguelike, and forego the individual zone sections. Personally, I still like playing in the zones, a little more forgiving. And eventually, it's like sometimes I'm like, okay, I only got time to really play one. Maybe I'll just do an all zones mode, or like if I want to do like a particular challenge or a skill thing, then I will do all zones mode. You complete goals and unlock more characters, and those characters have different mechanics. The monk character, where he deals more damage, but he has like a vow of poverty. So if he touches gold, he dies. But items are
Oh.
free from the merchant. So you kind of like have to stop your instinct of just going to killing an enemy and then walking immediately to pick up gold. I've done that so many times. You can play as Mary and her sheep, and you have to protect them while you're traversing the dungeon. Yeah, there's a lot of cool mechanics here. It's really, really fun. Changes up the variety of how you actually play the game. So like it doesn't feel like the same, again, the base mechanics of this game are really, really good. So it's fine. I don't get bored of this game. It just, sometimes there's ways to make it feel different enough from character to character, where it plays differently enough that you have to like actually think how you're playing.
I got you. Eventually, it's going to get to a point where your strategy is going to have to change, just like anything else, just like any other game.
Yeah. I mentioned this before as well earlier, but in the lobby, you can also use your diamonds to buy items for the next run. So if you have diamonds and you've already unlocked everything in terms of like your character upgrades and your dungeon upgrades, it's like, okay, well now I might as well start modifying my individual runs. You know what I mean? Kind of give myself a little bit of a boost.
And the other thing too is that it adds some predictability to this very unpredictable genre, right?
Yeah. So like you're not gonna be able to buy like the best weapons. You're not gonna be able to buy like the I don't know, like I guess it depends on what you consider best. But like say I won't be able to pick up. I think
Maybe preferred is the better word.
Yeah, preferred.
Won't be able to pick up
I can pick up my preferred. Like I can pick up a whip instead of having to use my dagger for the first stage or so. Like because I like the whip because I can fight from a distance. Basically, the most bit to how to actually play this game for the most part is it's relatively simple. It's like, simple to pick up, and then you learn how to play this game, and you get rewarded for it because you learn the enemy patterns, how to actually traverse. Different bosses have different rhythms and stuff like that. And fun fact, this game can be played with a dance pad.
Don't tempt me.
I know that you and me have this like shared love of DDR and all those big peripheral rhythm games. Yeah, if you still have your dance pad, I would recommend trying to plug it in and trying to learn how to play it that way. It's actually kind of fun. I have plugged in my dance pad, the one with the foam in it, like my medium pad.
Oh, the medium pad. Yeah, my god.
So, and it's cool because with the medium pad or with the dance pad in general. Oh, no, I guess not. With the softer DDR pads, they have the buttons on them, right?
Right.
And I know for like on the hard pad, like the actual metal ones, right? The metal and plastic ones,
right?
Those don't have any face buttons on them, right?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so you have to do all your stuff with combinations like up left, up right, left right, down right. For your items. But on the softer and the medium pads, the ones with the foam in them, or just the really soft ones, they have button inputs on them, so I can also use those as shortcuts essentially.
I should have grabbed the ones by the dumpster when I had the chance.
Yeah, it's a fun way to play the game. It's not as hyperactive as DDR, obviously, but it's a fun way to really play it. It's kind of a cool thing that they decided that they can make that into an actual input option. You can also import your own music library to play along to in this game, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
And it's not even like going into the folder files to mess with anything. You literally just like I think you can just go. There's like a particular room in the lobby, like you go to that and you can change your music, or I think it might just be in the settings for all I know. But you can change each individual zone, each individual level. So you can change zone 1 1 through 4, zone 2 1 through 4, and so on and so forth. You can change all the music. So say if you want to just play to like a metal soundtrack, you can just throw in music from your favorite bands and play that way.
That might be something we do here.
Yeah, I mean I've done it before for a couple songs that I like. That being said, I think that the game does do a really good level of its own music library because the songs speed up the further you go across zones and levels. So zone 1 through 4 are relatively calm for the most part, but zone zone 1 level 1 is speeds up when you go to zone 1 level 2. So I started playing this game like 6 months before Cadence of Hyrule came out on the Switch. Like this is one of those games that like I fell into the rabbit hole like real hard into, where I just like kind of like Slay the Spire, where like this just became the only game that I played for like 3 4 months straight, and it's really really fun, really cool mechanic. And once I learned all the items and how to actually play the game, you got get. I never felt powerless in this game, which is always a good thing as well, especially for roguelikes.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, like you feel weak. Don't get me wrong, you feel weak in the beginning, but once you realize that every enemy has like an actual predetermined pattern on how to move towards you and attack you, you don't again it doesn't feel cheap. You actually learn how to fight everything. How are you feeling right now in terms regards to this game, or in regards to my pitch for this game?
I feel better going into this than Slay the Spire, to be honest, because I feel like I'm at least better at rhythm games, and I feel like that's going to give me more of an opportunity when it comes to succeeding versus the deck builder style. So, like I said, this is a game that I was interested in. I wanted to play it, and I'm excited to give it a shot.
That's good. Have you also played a lot of dungeon crawling style games?
I Yeah, I mean, I love Diablo. I love Lost Ark, which is something that we might touch on in the future, but not maybe in like the same vein of dungeon crawlers that this game is based on. But I do enjoy dungeon crawlers, loot and grab and kill and move to the next area and do the same thing over again. I do like those games.
I'm looking forward to you getting your hands on this game and actually trying it out, and hopefully you really like this. Again, like I love Slay the Spire, and you kind of enjoyed that as well. So I'm hoping you really enjoy this one too. Okay, and we are back with the second half of our episode on Crypt of the Necrodancer. It has been 2 weeks now since the first half of this episode, and hopefully Jeff has got some decent runs in here. So yeah, it's been 2 weeks. Jeff, how have you been?
I've been all right. I've been watching a lot of hockey, so if that seeps in through my voice, if I'm not the quote unquote polished professional as always, sorry about that. But otherwise I've been pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. The last couple of weeks have been destroying me with allergies, and I got over a cold the last week as well too. As first half of this episode, I should still be gross and snotty. I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
And yeah, I finally feel like good. You know what I mean? It's like when you're just constantly at like a low level of like quality of health, it just feels bad.
Oh yeah.
And like just like walking around and doing regular stuff is just annoying.
Yeah,
So
hopefully we're on the other on the other side, I mean, of those spring allergies here.
yeah. I mean, summer's right around the corner. We've had a couple really hot days, right? And
Thank goodness.
I've been enjoying a little bit more sun. I'm out here touching grass now. It's nice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, been enjoying finally being past like the feeling like garbage bit. Basically, I'm finally feeling good, and I'm doing a lot more stuff again, especially since the weather is nice finally again.
Thank goodness. I am a summer child through and through, and so I'm very much thrilled that the warmer weather's here.
Yeah, I think I enjoy the summer, but like I'm definitely a winter dude. Like I know
Uh,
I know that a lot of people don't like the extreme cold, and I love it actually, just because I don't deal with heat very well. It's funny, right?
Right.
My family, my blood's from a tropical country, and I'm just like, no, just leave me inside with the AC on, or let it be, let it be below freezing. I'm like, this is great, this is amazing. Okay, so now that we're back and we've gotten Crypt the Necrodancer under Jeff's hands and let him, kind of just go off on his own and explore the game. Let me know how you feel. What are your first impressions about the game?
All right. Okay. So first impressions of the game were, oh, this is kind of cool. This is a fun, charming little game. I started as the main character, the girl on the cover art. I don't know her
Cadence.
name.
Her name is Cadence.
Cadence. That's right.
Yeah, and
And
everyone's names are musical related to, which is I find kind of cute.
right. And at first, you kind of get your feet wet, right? And you're trying to figure out the game, and you die a lot, and it happens like that, right? Where you're in that intro phase, the first couple of tries, and it
You
doesn't go really well,
Yeah,
and
you
you're trying to learn the
die, repeat,
mechanics.
play, die, repeat kind of deal.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh. You want to know how long I managed to play this game for?
Go for it. I was hoping you were gonna play this for a while and enjoy it.
73 minutes, because if I played it for 74, I would not be here talking to you, because I'd either be dead from a heart attack or I would have
Really?
strangled somebody. This is without a doubt the most frustrating game I have ever played in my entire life.
Are you serious?
I hate this game.
What?
I hate them. I hate Crypt of the Necrodancer. I hate this stupid game. I'm so frustrated. Every single time
Oh
I logged into this stupid game and tried to play
no!
it, I got through like 15 minutes and I said, forget it. I'm done. I'm done. No,
Really? What
oh yeah.
happened? What happened? What made you so angry about this game?
Okay. Roguelikes are already difficult enough as it is. Rhythm games are already difficult enough as it is. Now I have to play them at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, I thought you
So
liked it.
I thought so too, but you know what? I guess not. And honestly, so that's one issue. So the only way this game was even playable for me was playing as the bard. And I guess we'll talk about that a little more later, because the characters change the way that the game functions, right?
Yeah,
They each
yeah.
have their own set of
Mechanics and like
mechanics,
movement
right?
mechanics and game mechanics. Yeah, yeah.
Correct. So not only is it incredibly frustrating, and look, not to go off on a side tangent here, but I
Uh,
understand there's a
honestly,
subset of
go for it. Honestly, just go.
no,
I want to hear your thoughts. Go for it.
no, but I am from the school of get good, right? That
Yeah.
I do want
You grind games
people
out.
in these
You play fighting games. Like you were literally in the get good or you're just not going to enjoy this game kind of deal.
right. So I understand that there is a level of get good. So please understand, dear listener, that I understand that I am not good at this game, but there is a difference between not being good at this game and wanting to get better, and wanting to never play this game ever again. And that's where I am with this.
Oh man, this hurts to hear, Jeff.
I never
Oh
want to play this
no.
again. I cannot wait to uninstall this game. I am going to film it and I am going to share it with our viewers when I uninstall this and get this out of my life forever. The combat is frustrating. Everything's just frustrating. And it gets to the point, especially once you finally manage to get past World 1, you finally get to World 2, and everything hits harder. Everything hurts you for most of your health. And now, look, should I have put more time into it to get the permanent upgrades? Yes, I get it. Again, like I understand that I'm coming from a place that kind of sounds like I need to get good. And you're right, but I don't want to get good at this. I would rather just play something that makes me happy, and this isn't it.
Oh man. Okay, so like once you started playing, you immediately felt like frustration, basically. Then, like past the first like play die repeat first phase of first phase of this, I guess, right? Okay,
Right,
you know you're any rogue like you just know you're gonna die, right? You kind of accept that if it's a game is a roguelike, you're gonna play, you're gonna die a lot to learn the game, and
right,
then learn from those experiences and hopefully get further along. So
correct.
once you got past that phase, was that basically it for you? Like you started just feeling more and more frustration building up?
It got to the point where it was I don't even want to say it got to the point where it felt like I wasn't getting better. It just felt like every single like trying to juggle both mechanics at the same time. The roguelike mechanics and the rhythm mechanics were super just frustrating. So, and then eventually I ended up trying the other characters. I saw they were unlocked. So I said, forget this girl. I'm going to go try somebody else. I found the bard and I realized, oh, I don't have to time anything when it comes to the bard. I can just play the game. But
Okay.
now I have to actually just play the game, and then that's not an enjoyable experience because you spawn naked with a dagger and you can't kill anything. Now I will tell you that as, I progressed and I started finding the loadouts that I liked, it got a little better, but then I would turn the corner and I would get two shot by something, just some random enemy, not even the final like the floor boss, but just some random enemy or something would hit me without me being in, what I thought was its range of motion, and it would just kill me, and then that would be it. I'd go back and I'd have to start all over again, and then the next time I'd start a run, I wouldn't get a broadsword. The broadsword was the weapon that I liked. Was the only weapon that I
Broadsword's a
liked.
good weapon. I like that one.
Yeah, it was the only weapon I liked.
Really, it's the only
And
one. Didn't like the
oh yeah,
spear or the whip or anything.
the spear was fine. The whip was all right, I guess. It was
The whip's a little bit
confusing.
janky. Yeah, initially playing the whip is a little janky, but I think of it as like a kind of like a knight from chess because that's how it hits. It hits like from you to like a like to a L shape away from you.
That is a
Two
really
or
good
three
way to
spaces
describe it.
away.
That is a really good way to describe it. And yeah, so I mean, the spear was good. I like the spear.
Just
The
hit
broadsword,
further away. You can throw it same as the dagger. Basically,
right?
it's basically
I
just a
didn't
better
even
dagger.
throw it. I didn't even throw it because, God forbid, I miss or something else happens. Who knows? Maybe it would have broke in half, and then what am I going to do? I'm going to punch stuff,
So once you throw weapons, you have to go retrieve them. You are essentially unarmed until you get the weapon back.
Well, yeah, I figured
And
that,
you
but
can't, and in the whole punching thing. Yeah, unfortunately, in this game, you can't do any damage to enemies unless you have a weapon in your hand. Unless you are playing Nocturne, who can turn into like a bat form and hit as if she had a knife at all times with her.
right. No, and I appreciate the other characters and those other play styles. I think there's a lot to be discovered there, and I think that if you're someone who sort of enjoys roguelikes and you like multiple experiences, I think this is something for you because there are a ton of additional characters, a lot of which I didn't even unlock, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, look, again, this is a me problem, not an anybody else problem. I can tell that this game was made with a lot of love from the developers. It looks great. The music is really good.
music slaps dick. Like the
It
music
does.
is so good in this game. I love the music.
Well,
In this
great.
game.
Now I have to put the explicit tag on here, so thanks a fucking lot.
We said shit in other videos or episodes.
Shit's
I mean,
not a curse anymore. You can say it on cable television.
can you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't say shit, right? There's South Park. That was a whole
You
thing.
can say shit on television, yes.
Okay.
But anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, like
There are bits
I
and
can
pieces
tell
you like about this game, but not
basically everything but the game.
the game. Wow, that's wild to
I
me.
like everything but the game.
Everyone else who I've gotten to actually play this game has fallen in love with this game, even if it's like for a short while, like they never go back to it, or like it becomes one of those games you pick up once every month or 2 months. Be like, oh, I can play a couple runs. Why not? You know what I mean? They play that, and then kind of like, okay, cool. I'm good. I'm good now. I've gotten my fix, and then I can move along, play my other stuff. This is one of those games for me that like I bought this on Steam. I bought it for Switch. I bought Cadence of Hyrule, so I'm assuming you're not going to play that either.
I'm not gonna play that.
Okay. Yeah, like this is one of the games I'm like, this is one of my comfort games. Like Slay the Spire is one of those games like, okay, I've got like an hour to kill. I can play like 2 runs of Slay the Spire, die and play again. There was definitely this bit, I guess, when I started playing this game myself, where I would die to the common enemies as well. And like I would get swarmed and not realize, oh, I should probably run away, let them come at me one by one, and then attack them. And then
Right.
once I got that into my head, I was able to like kind of get past that frustration zone and like really, really dig into the game. My first play of this game, I loved this. Like immediately I was all in. I don't know. Is it so you said you had a little bit of trouble as well, like with the game and music mechanic, right? Kind of like the fact that the gameplay has to time along to music. right?
Right. It was the balance between a genre that I'm not too in tune with, right? With roguelikes. If this was like a
Or like a dungeon.
music,
I guess it's more of a dungeon. Yeah, like it's a dungeon crawler roguelike. Yeah, and then the music on top of it
right.
created
So if
more
it was
mechanics that you want to figure out at the same time.
right, if you can give me like a rhythm shooter or a rhythm fighting game or a rhythm, I don't know, something else
I will
that
line that.
isn't a game,
I will line that up for
right?
you then. Hopefully.
Right. That it's something that I can actually manage to juggle because I'm familiar um with both genres, then that's something. But to have to deal with all the roguelike crap that you have to go through whenever you play one of these games, and then also have to time up all my movements, try to maneuver the enemies into proper position so I don't, number one, get hit because, God forbid you get hit by anything in this game, you lose a third of your life. And of course, heaven forbid it's like an elite or like a boss, forget it. Like you're down to one health in no time. Um, so trying to juggle all of that was just so frustrating. And after a while, it's like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I doing this to myself? Well, obviously it's for the show, but and it's funny. It's funny to see me suffer, right, for the show. But yeah, man, it just wasn't for me.
Man,
So like
I'm so,
I can definitely
I'm devastated to hear that you did not like this game.
no, it's okay. Like I can totally be like, okay,
I mean,
listen to
so
Crypt of the
you
Neck.
understand why this game is popular, but you don't like this
Yes,
game. But you don't like this game.
right. I could watch somebody else play it. I will listen to the soundtrack. I will probably listen to the soundtrack. Go find it on YouTube. You know, Crypt of the Necrodancer full soundtrack, right? And just listen to the hour plus soundtrack. It's great. The soundtrack's awesome. Watching somebody else play this is probably going to be awesome. Me playing this is not awesome.
So
I got to the second floor. I got to the second floor,
second
and I
floor,
know that
and
doesn't.
basically that was like it for you to almost tap out.
Right. So I cleared the World 1 boss, right?
Which rotates between a couple, I think.
Right. So the one that I would always get, I would finally manage to traverse through the first floor, and then I would get the water boss. And that would just be like the piece de resistance of frustration,
Yeah,
right?
because you lose you. So in water in this game, if there's a square with water in it, you fall in, and you have one beat to jump in place essentially to break out
Right.
of water,
Mhm.
which slows you. Which just because of the fact that this is a rhythm game and movement is based around rhythm, not being able to move exactly where you want on beat is an annoyance. But
Right.
you're that's the whole thing. You're supposed to work around it. It's an obstacle.
And the other thing that's a real pain in the rear is when you're trying to learn the boss mechanics, but you have this air of sort of finality, right? So when you die in Mario, right? You die to Bowser, you spawn at the midway point of the level. When you die in even in like Dark Souls or any of these other, sort of super difficult games, unless you have gone quite a while without saving, you generally save close to the boss. In this, you have to play through the entire game, try to build up your loadout again just to get to the boss. And not to mention the other boss, I don't even remember what the other boss was, but I did another World 1 boss fight and I cleared it the first time I saw it. So it's like, I don't know. It was just, everything about this was just like, all the things that I hate about roguelikes. It's just, hey, this is frustrating, but it's a feature, not us, taking shortcuts and artificially making the game difficult. It's definitely a feature. You being frustrated and powerless and hopeless, that's a feature. And that it just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
That's like it's actually like so sad to hear that you not enjoy this.
Well, at least we got like we ripped the band-aid off, right? It only
Yeah,
took us three
we
episodes to find a
found a
game we
game that
didn't
one
like.
of us didn't like. Yeah, that's fair, I
Uh,
guess.
but
So
that's the difference between this and Slay the Spire. So to go back to the very first game, which anyone listening can listen to in our feed here, Slay the Spire, I actually ended up getting worse at the game once I stopped just going off of my own build and started researching builds.
mhm.
And that's a game where I want to get better at it. I still haven't cleared it, but I still go back to it and I still play it, especially if I need something that I really want to pick up and put down quickly, I still run through Slay the Spire. I still want to beat that game because I don't know, for whatever reason, it makes me want to play it. It makes me want to get better at it. And this doesn't. So I would say that's the big difference. I would say that if you're a roguelike fan and you like music, go for it because you're going to be better at. I think people that are roguelike fans that also like music will be better at this game than someone like me who likes rhythm games and music games, and then is trying to play a roguelike, if that makes sense. Does it?
Yeah, it does. So it's like essentially it's like a scale, right? Like there's a percentage of this which is rhythm game,
Right.
percentage which is roguelike, and you weigh more heavily in favor of rhythm game, so the other bit doesn't, I guess, mesh in as well as you would like it to.
Correct.
Okay, I get that. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, because you said before that Hades, like essentially what you think is the best roguelike, or at least the one that has been done the cleanest or the best execution of it, basically, right?
I think so. I think it balances the challenge of the genre with the bullshit unfair that so many of these games try to pass off as a feature. And I go back to a game like I started with Risk of Rain, and I always felt like I was just like an ant in a tarantula pit, right?
Yeah.
I've never felt powerful in that game. I didn't really feel super powerful in Slay the Spire, but you get there eventually, right?
Yeah, on like a run, you
Crypt,
find the right stuff to make your deck
right.
strong or whatever.
God, Crypt, I never felt powerful. I always felt like, and I something looked at me funny and I was dead.
Yeah,
But
I guess that is true because yeah, I because even now when I play Crypt the Necrodancer, and I've beaten the game a couple times, there's there is this bit where I still have to play kind of cautious because yeah, like one hit is a with even with 6 hearts, that's a 6 of your health just gone in one hit, and
right.
God forbid you get hit twice in the same spot, or you move into the wrong spot because you're getting swarmed, you get hit by another monster, or two at the same time.
Right, or the dragon claws at you from behind him, or I don't know, the Minotaur hits you, or whatever else in this godforsaken game will hit you in some bullshit mechanic.
All good,
Sorry.
all good. Because I mentioned in the first half, all the monsters do have patterns. You can learn and fight around them, basically, right? So
Right,
so I'm assuming the basic common monsters you got past, right? The skeleton moves on every other beat.
right. When he puts his hands up and he starts shaking his
Then he
hips.
moves, yeah, the next beat
Right.
afterwards. So the slimes move every beat technically, but the
Mm-hmm.
blue ones stay in spot while the green, or no, is it green stays in the same spot, blue moves up and down, stuff like that. Gold moves in like a diamond shape.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then also the characters affect their movement because I saw when playing as the bard that the enemies always move towards you.
most enemies will
Hmm.
move towards you regardless. Some don't always approach you.
Right.
Like the bats will move in a little bit of a random, not randomized,
Hmm.
but like sometimes they'll move towards you, sometimes they'll move away. There are certain enemies which only run away from you until they hit a wall and stun
Hmm.
themselves.
The
The Minotaur, once
mhm.
you get into line of sight, it'll go in a straight line until it hits something. So the Minotaur is one of those monsters that, okay, once you learn, he will run at you like in like a blind bull charge.
Right.
You can like move one side over and then kind of move alongside him and hit him while he's running.
Right.
So there,
Oh, see, I didn't even do that. No, I did figure out the Minotaur pretty quickly, and I would just wait for him to. I
hit
would
the
just like
wall,
kite him. Right. I would just kite him, have him bonk the wall, and then
two
beat
free
the
hits or
crap out of
whatever.
him.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. So I just didn't. I couldn't think of any of the other elite enemies. Right.
Yeah. So
But it was just the dragons would always kill me because.
there in this game there is like a tutorial mode essentially, or like a challenge mode, I guess, whatever they call it.
Right.
I
I
forgot
saw
exactly what
that.
they labeled it. So yeah, that one actually teaches you how to deal with dragons and stuff like that, or like how to like do some. It basically gives you like an example, and you have to play through it a couple times, to like learn how to actually deal with like certain
Ah.
dragons and like how to move around stuff. Like, so dragons will move towards you every other beat, I believe, as well. But when they hit you for like 3 or 4 hearts.
Yeah.
But there is like a way to learn how to kite them by moving up and down from them. Right. Stuff like that. So
yeah, no, the bestiary was, I think, what it was called.
Yeah, there we go.
So it sounds like a trial mode, which would be great if I wanted to get better at the game.
Yeah, I get you. Okay, so you learned some of the basic mobs. You got through the first. You basically got thrown in. Yeah, this game really doesn't have a whole lot. It just throws you right into the game. And then once stuff unlocks, you can kind of do a little bit of trials and learn how to do certain things. But for the most part, this game is one of those where you just pick up and you just start going.
Right.
So with the movement stuff, there's also like movement trials in there as well too. Well, I at least want to look into that if you ever want to pick this game up ever again. But the movement for me in this game, it's one of those things where it almost became like second nature. You know what I mean? Just because I hear the rhythm. And once I'm kind of in, it just becomes like, okay, I just move now. So that you never got to that point?
No, I mean, like I got there eventually. The rhythm wasn't the problem. The problem was juggling the rhythm with the roguelike.
That's what I mean, though, because like for me, once the rhythm became like almost second nature to me, or I turned my brain off, or that got just under my fingers, I don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
Like at that point, I was just playing like the game.
No, I get it. You're also more well-versed in both genres than me. So like we have similar rhythm game experience, but I don't have as much roguelike experience.
Okay.
And I think
so it's more of an issue with the roguelite aspect that clashes with the rhythm and the rhythm part enjoyment. Okay.
Right. The other issue is like you're a classically trained musician. I'm just a guy that like played a lot of rhythm games and played an instrument for a little while, so but factor that in too.
I mean, you don't have to be a classically trained musician to enjoy this game.
I know, but it helps.
I guess I don't know. Maybe I don't know if there's like a multitasking aspect or whatever that like for some reason because I got to that point, I was able to just like okay, second nature, got it. I know exactly where I am. Where moving almost became like tapping my foot along to music. I wasn't even thinking about movement at that point anymore.
Right. So then, yes. It got to that point for you, and it never got there for me because, like I said, I was too focused on the roguelike.
You're actually thinking out too much, basically. Then,
right? I'm too busy thinking about the roguelike to focus on the other part of the game. Even if that other part of the game isn't that difficult to me, it's enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just enough to knock me off course from the roguelike portion of the game, and then everything falls apart. I die. The dragon hits me from fucking anywhere. And whatever.
Hits 2 or 3 spaces, I think, away from me. At least the fire one and the fire one hits all the way across. The ice one hits in a cone.
I don't know.
1 by 3.
I didn't know there were ice dragons. All I know was there was a green dragon and a red dragon, and every time I tried to hit it with the sword, it would always find a way to swipe me for 5 damage.
So that's the thing too with the sword, because like the sword can hit in like a space 3 wide from where you are, right? With that one, the dragon essentially you want to stay 1 block above or below it and just swing to the right. So you saw how weapons trigger in this game, right? Like as long as an enemy is within your range, you press the direction towards that enemy, and your character will swing.
Oh yeah, no, I got it on even the boss that I killed. I got it. It's just for whatever reason, man.
Learning learning the smaller details, I guess, of everything. Like there's I guess there's a lot more stuff, I guess, than I initially let on for this game. So
no, you've also been playing it a lot.
True. I this is one of my comfort games. I play this game at least like I don't know, twice a week. Just like I'll dump like an hour into this game and just play a couple runs. So you said the bard was the character that you
was basically the only character that I could function with, because I will tell you though, I don't know what the guy's name was, but he was some sort of alien-esque creature that killed everything in 1 hit, but you needed to keep killing in order to stay alive. I believe he was on like the bottom row of characters.
Let me see. Let me pull this up right now then, actually.
Leave it in.
Yeah. It's perfectly fine. Because
leave it all in.
I don't have everything obviously off the top of my head. I forget little details like this. So let's see.
Right, especially if you don't play as one of the 20 characters that are in this game.
I think there's
It's
there's like
16 or something like that.
16. Yeah,
There's
there's like four.
multiple rows.
It's like 4x4 or 5x5. One of those two.
Right.
Let's see, Crypt of the Necrodancer characters. The alien-looking character. You mean
Anyway,
the
while you're looking at that, yeah. So I thought that was cool. He was like pink. I don't know, but like I understood that there were other interesting characters in this game, but the bard was the only character that I could use.
Coda? That's
That
his name.
Hoda,
Coda, like the little devil guy.
Coda. Yeah, that was him. And so like I thought that was interesting. Like I tried to do a few runs. I didn't get very far with him, but like I thought it was interesting and I was just trying different things to make this game playable, but the bard was the only character because with the bard you didn't have to worry about your musical timing. You could just focus on the roguelike. And so that was kind of the only way that I played the game, and so my view basically only revolved around that character. So any success that I had with the game was only by playing as the bard because I basically didn't play half the game, right? Because it's part
You couldn't get
dungeon
past.
crawler roguelike, right? It's and the other part is the rhythm aspect, and so yeah. So I played as the bard and
So
still wasn't successful.
one little fact about the bards or about the game in general as well, actually, it kind of ties together. So when they first developed this game, I remember reading an article, I think it was, where they initially developed this game to be almost like a turn-based roguelike, or like turn-based like dungeon crawler. So you would make a move and then everything would move afterwards and you have time to plan your stuff out afterwards.
Right, okay.
So it kind of reminds me of the bard, right? So you can kind of like move, then look at everything, see where everything sits, and then play from that point on, right? Essentially, you're taking turns,
Right.
and then I think they had like a timing window. They made it so that like you have a certain amount of time to do a move, and then the game would or the game would like automatically progress for you. And
Got it.
because that window kept getting smaller and smaller, and there's like a comfort zone, basically, it became a rhythm roguelike dungeon crawler. So like, there's a possibility that the game originally played relatively similar to the Bard at like the early development of this game.
Got it. Yeah.
So
I mean, it makes sense. It does make sense, and I commend them for trying this and doing this. And again, obviously, all these people that love this game,
succeeding in my opinion, like in making like a really really good game with a cool idea that you have this just dungeon crawler style exploration game.
Hell yeah,
with a rhythm game, and like they pulled it off. They pulled it off with massive success.
Hell yeah, they did. Obviously, everybody loves it. It spawned a sequel with a company that is notorious for not working with anybody but themselves, and it's done buku numbers, right? It can't be bad. Just wasn't for me.
Just not for you. That's fair. That's perfectly fair. When I initially pitched this game to you, we talked about it a little bit offline as well, like future ideas for episodes. And I remember throwing this out as an idea, and you were super stoked for it. Just hearing that you did not enjoy this game was just it was like breaking my heart, man.
I know it's good. The duality of this episode is going to be so funny because I'm going into this and I'm like super excited because it's cool. Like it's a cool game. It's got cool music. It's a great idea. It's interesting.
Just not for you.
And then I actually played it, and nah, just wasn't for me at all.
Did you have any troubles with the controls in this game? Like aside from like obviously moving on rhythm and stuff like that, but like did you play this game on a keyboard, controller, or did you plug your dance pad in?
No, I don't have a dance pad, unfortunately. I did play it on keyboard, and I didn't have any issues with So to use sort of the other items that you get, you'll have to press a combination of keys, right? So I know the bomb is like up and left, right? You drop a bomb, and you can kill enemies, you can break objects, you can open up
stone walls
holes and stuff like that. Yeah.
You can break the gold walls in the merchant for extra gold.
Right, okay. Yeah, no, I didn't have any issues doing that stuff. Even like the spells I didn't have issues with. So you do have the ability to pick up magic every once in a while from whatever chests you can find.
Yeah, there's like scrolls, which are one-time use abilities, or you can find this spell itself and you can use it again after like a certain amount of kills. I believe that's how they set it up.
Probably.
Yeah, and there are certain ones that I default to, like the healing spell, which gives you like a half a heart after
Oh,
killing
that would have been nice to have.
like after killing like 10 enemies.
Mm-hmm.
So healing in this game is not forgiving. Like aside from like being able to pocket one food item, that's really about it. And then unless you can find a heal spell or find one of the weapons or the item pickups that gives you health after killing a certain amount of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Like healing in this game is not generous at all. So
yeah,
there was definitely that bit in this game when I first started this, and I was definitely frustrated until I like for some reason something just clicked one day. You know what I mean? It's one of those games where I put down after like being like, I died again. I was like, okay, start again. Like, you know, play, died again. Okay, I'm pissed. I'm putting this game down. I need to get away from this game for a little while after the initial honeymoon phase of this game. And then and then for some reason, you know, it's, again, like sometimes things just click after you get like away from it. You know what I mean? Like 3-4 days later, I'm like,
oh yeah,
you know what? Let me just try this again. And for some reason, I think around then is when I got to that point where I no longer thought about timing and movement at the same time.
Right.
It just became like, you know, second nature. And then I got to like really think about, I stopped thinking about the rhythm part. So I started thinking, okay, let me see all the items. Let me find everything that I can pick up. I'll just try it. If I die, fine. It became like a grind session, right? Like I'll just learn everything. I'll just learn everything that I can about the pickups in the dungeon. Start just experimenting with what I do and don't like, and then through that like suffering period of like, I want to say like a day or two. I remember being like not enjoying this game as well for a couple days because it was just me trying to learn everything.
Right. Basically, you doom queuing, for a lack of a better phrase.
Yeah,
you're not really queuing. You're just you're doom scrolling, but you're playing
trying to
game.
learn at the same time. It's like it's like bashing my head against you know, like against like a really hard Mario Maker level. It's like, okay, I'm gonna figure this out. I refuse to die here.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing too with roguelikes, right? There's a lot of roguelikes do like a quick restart mechanic, like and even other games like platformers do it nowadays, right? Like Celeste.
A lot of the Mario ROM hacks does it.
Yeah, Mario ROM hacks do it. That's kind of like one of my issues with like Mario Maker, where you have to watch the death animation every time, and you know the life scroll down and all that stuff. Like when I played Celeste or Super Meat Boy, you just die and like, okay, start again, just go. You know, you just throw yourself at the wall until something sticks. There is like that aspect in this game as well because it has a quick restart. It's like, you want to lose all your diamonds? Like, yeah, I don't care. I'm just trying to learn right now. So there is a little bit of there's like a small wall you have to kind of break through, and I think once that happens, I think that like that's where my enjoyment came out of the game. But you know, for you said you put this game down for a little while, and it just never came for you, basically.
Right. No. So as somebody who, like we've discussed briefly, has gotten the breakthrough in a number of different games. Yeah, and that was the thing with me for Hades, right? And you know, I keep going back to it because it was the roguelike that I was the most successful with. But Hades wasn't even the problem. It was the two bosses at the end of world, like the third section of the game, the shielded spear guy and the Minotaur.
Yeah,
that
who was that again? That was like Dionysus. No, I don't remember his name.
I don't know.
The Minotaur. Yeah, the guy in the Minotaur.
Yeah, the shield guy and the Minotaur, right? That dual fight, that would always get me hung up, right? And that's where I would lose I would lose like a Death Defiance or two trying to fight those guys. So by the time I got to Hades, I was completely, you know, I didn't have enough resources to succeed. But eventually I got to the point where I figured out the strategy. So for me, it's go after the Minotaur immediately. Like I kill the Minotaur first, and then it's just me and the shield guy.
Full focus on him now.
And so even though he has, you know, when the one dies, the other one gets new abilities, I was able to overcome that, not lose a Death Defiance, or at the very least only lose one, and put myself in a better situation to fight Hades. And that's something that I understand that I probably I'm probably close to doing that with Crypt. I'm probably really close to those initial breakthroughs and figuring this game out, but maybe I'll try it again. All right. You might have convinced me. Maybe I'll give it another shot in a little while.
Yeah, maybe down the line you put this game down, try it again later.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. But there is something to be said, like you're talking about with the breakthrough. It does feel great. And for anyone listening, like as someone who's experienced it multiple times and who's gotten past that plateau, I always go back to fighting games because it was a big part of our childhood and our youth into our young adulthood, and to break through that first skill ceiling, when you're playing amongst your friends and you're decent but you're not the best, and you go online and you're getting walloped by people because you're finally leaving that little pond, right? It feels really wonderful to be able to, for the lack of a better phrase, leave that small pond, face the big fish, and beat them and get bigger and improve and have tangible results for your improvement. It feels great. And if you want to play this game, you should. And you want to get good at this game, you should totally do it, because this game's made with a lot of love. And any game, really, in general, if you love it, you should play it and you should get good at it. But if you don't want to get good at a game, you don't have to. You can be salty like me and sit here on a podcast and complain about it. You can totally do that too. But just as long as you have the awareness that it's because you didn't get good. And I am fully aware of the fact that I did not get good at Crypt of the Necrodancer, and that's okay. I'm going to get good at something else.
You're tapping out on this one. Okay.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, okay. No, why?
All good. Oh, man. So, aside from the things we already previously mentioned, like, again, the music's good in this game, the design's good, the aesthetic is really cool. Is there anything else you really enjoyed about this game? Like, yeah, obviously, again, like the roguelike elements aside, uh, the story. There is a bit of a story in this game. Obviously, the whole reason why you're playing as Cadence is to find the golden loot. Because her mom passed away, her father goes off and try to find it as well to and basically tries to keep her away from it. Right? Is there anything that you liked about this game aside from the music and the general aesthetic of it?
I will. It is something related to the music, but the shopkeeper singing along with the song is really funny and really
I mentioned in the first half of
great.
the episode. Yeah, like I love the fact that like the shopkeeper sings to every track in the game. Well, like I think all the bass tracks anyway. You can't throw your own music in there and he'll sing along. The game will the game doesn't just figure it out. But yeah, when you hear him singing, just jamming along.
Honestly, there were points where it's like I have like 250 gold, and then I hear him start singing as I'm going through the dungeon, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Let me see what he's got. And then, of course, it's never anything good. It's just crap. But at least he's singing, and it makes me feel good.
Yeah, I guess this game is a little bit less forgiving. Like when I think about it now compared to like other roguelikes that I play. There again, your health pool is relatively low. You start off with only 3 hearts for most characters. Some characters only 2. The bard I think only starts off with 2.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Like there's not a lot of hearts. Healing is super scarce, but I think that's also like a really
well. That's the patron saint of roguelikes.
Yeah, I mean that's
you
because
not heal basically.
Yeah, and I mean this one's also like there's zones, so like the area technically each section is not that long, but there is an all zones mode, which I'm like I've tried a couple times, and even with 6 hearts, I'm going in there like I'm gonna get slapped around here. Hopefully, I can find like a carrot or a block of cheese to heal myself halfway through my run. I'm gonna need it.
And that's what's frustrating too, because when you start from zone 2, like I did multiple times, I felt even more underpowered going into zone 2 with a dagger and my shirt.
With you. Yeah,
right, instead of a broadsword and armor. Even if I only had 3 or 4 hearts going into round 2 or zone 2, at least I felt better because I had a weapon that didn't suck. So going in, trying to progress from the start, like starting in zone 2, was just frustrating.
There was this moment as well. Again, it's kind of like every zone, and I still do it to an extent with the later zones because especially with Nocturne, because she has other mechanics. She starts with a better weapon. She starts with like the saber. I think like it's like a rapier of some sort. Not no
Mm.
no yeah it's not no it's not the rapier. It's the one that's like, it looks like a pirate sword. So like you have a parry.
Oh, a
So
scimitar,
yeah, scimitar, whatever.
perhaps?
Yeah. So like you hit somebody, and if you're getting hit at the same time, I believe it blocks that attack. So
Oh.
like it gives you a little bit of extra leeway there. But even then, I end up dropping a lot of those weapons early because in this game, it's like your initial weapon is never going to be your main weapon. You always drop it,
Oh, yeah.
unless you're playing it as like a dagger only run or something.
God, how could you why would you do that to yourself?
I mean, I've done it. I've gotten through 1, 2, and 3 with just a dagger,
Wow,
and
that sucks.
yeah, and of course I picked up like chess pieces and rings to give myself more damage or whatever, or take less damage or teleport on hit or whatever. But that's the beauty of roguelikes, right? You can play it however you want. It's like, same with any other game, right? Like
Oh, yeah.
you play Dark Souls and people do the no hit runs. You know what I mean? Like they are wild. There's like little incremental things I can kind of do in this game to give myself even more of a challenge, create my own rules, and even more so the fact that there's other characters I can play and mess with those rules as well. So did you try
Yeah.
anybody else aside from the monk? Or
I
the bard,
tried
I mean. Sorry, the bard.
I tried all the characters that I had available to me because I was like, something's gotta give here.
You got to
And
find one character that you like or something.
right, the only character that I found that I liked at all was the bard.
Because it took out the
Because
rhythm aspect.
right, it took out me having to juggle everything. And that was kind of the first big bridge I had to cross was to kind of figure out how to balance these things. And once I didn't have to, then I could just focus on the game. But it does kind of feel a little bit like a cop out, right? Like the whole point of this game is because, oh well, it's the rhythm roguelike, right? You have to bounce along to the music and play the game. So it is what it is. But I know I'm not the only one. I did see a
Oh
few
no, I'm
reviews
sure. Yeah, I'm
that
sure.
were like, the bard is the only way that I'm able to play this game.
Yeah, like I do reserve like some room for people who like obviously this is not going to be their game. Where especially with a lot going on, it's harder to juggle for some people. This is one of the games for me that clicked. That's why I was so excited to get you into this. We both like rhythm games. I know you're like I love roguelikes, and I know you're not the biggest fan, but I'm just trying to expand your library of a couple of them, right?
Right.
And
I'm not. I'm not.
and I was thinking like, oh, this has got to be in your wheelhouse. Like
Mhm.
we both swore that this would basically just be something you would enjoy, like right off the bat.
Right. I'm not anti roguelike.
Yeah, it's just
I'm
not.
anti. I'm anti the traditional roguelike way of increasing difficulty by hoarding health items and withholding health items. And oh, you got hit once, that's it, you have to play this flawlessly or else you're boned.
Hmm.
Get wrecked.
Okay. There's absolutely like games with design issues, right? Like I personally see this one as being like, yeah, it has some of those like difficulties obviously in it. Again, health is very scarce. Your health pool's not big at all. And like I think that there are I've also gone through like the slog of like not very good roguelike games, that have been developed by somebody like, and again, it's not even like a fact that like the game itself is, that there was no thought put into the game. I think that, maybe there was the execution of certain games were just not done well, right? Where
It's
they make it difficult and it's not forgiving, but also nothing gets better the better you get at the game.
right.
I think this game allows you to get to that skill point, or a lot of roguelikes do, where there's like, okay, yeah, the game's like super harsh to you, but because you learn how the game works, especially with this game, especially because monsters are all technically you can predict where they move,
Right.
gives you even more to that point. Once you break past that wall, I like the enjoyment skyrockets to me. Like, you know what I mean? That's my experience with this game. Where
Oh no,
once I
I agree.
broke through, I was like, okay, I love this game. Before I was, this game was before I thought this game's pretty cool. Yeah, I like the music. It's fun to play, and I can kind of get a lot of runs in a short amount of time, especially because I kept dying a lot. But once I got to the point where I can take a run, and yeah, I guess the other thing as well is the aspect of like taking your character or your run to the moon, right? Like in Hades, there's that feeling of like, okay, I've gotten the proper boons and buffs from gods that I needed. That like, okay, now I'm in my comfort zone, right? Like I have now have Artemis's Artemis. What is
Oh
that her
yeah,
name?
I can reflect.
Like I've gotten Artemis's shield on my dash now. Good, and okay, I have extra damage from Wine Guy. What's his name?
Oh, I forget. I always go Hades for any, not Hades. That's the guy. That's the guy you're trying to kill.
Ares.
Ares, yes, thank you. I
Yeah,
like
for the extra
Doom's
doom. Yeah,
Demise or
the
whatever
doom's
it's called.
demise.
Yep.
And then, but like, or the drunkard effect from what's his name? Wine dude, whatever. The
You,
bro.
you're Eurythes or something.
Your drunk uncle, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drunk uncle.
The frat
Purple
bro.
guy.
The frat bro. Yeah, exactly. Like like every time I see those, like, cool. Now I have my ideal or preferred setup. I can take this run to the moon now.
Yeah.
I'm ready to fight Hades. In this game, there's a bit of that because I'm like, okay, cool. I found a chess piece which lets me take half my damage now from everything, or I take reduces all damage taken by like a quarter of a heart instead of just instead of getting hit for 3, I'm getting hit for 2.25. It's anything.
Hey, at least you found chess pieces.
Yeah, really, you couldn't even get you couldn't find like you couldn't expand your inventory drop in the dungeon.
Oh no, I did. I unlocked
just
them.
Just the RNG on you just was not
Yeah.
friendly. Yeah.
No, I got plenty of maps and plenty of torches, but no chess pieces, no armor. I did get the blood broadsword 2 runs in a row, and that was pretty clutch.
That must feel good for you because you like the broadsword, and then the broadsword allows you to heal. The blood weapons allow you to heal after a certain amount of kills.
Correct.
So, did you ever take any of the obsidian weapons? I think that's my question now. Then for you, because like the obsidian weapons are the high risk weapons, right? They basically hit for 1 with no multiplier. They're basically as weak as the original weapon. But once you have the multiplier stacked up, the damage ramps up. Did you find any of those? Like the high risk, high reward weapons? Would you not even feel comfortable taking one of those?
Oh, I would have at least tried it because I would have tried anything to try to be successful in this game. I didn't see any of the obsidian anything. I did run into the glass weapons a few times and the shrine that I didn't realize I was using to turn all my items into glass, and so that was an experience. I'll tell you that if you want to talk about glass weapons a little more.
Yeah, we can go into that. So I mentioned in the first half of this episode, glass weapons. Wait, did I mention it? I don't remember it at this point, actually. Either way,
did. I remember it because I saw them and I was like, "Oh, you mentioned this before."
Okay. So with glass, anything in this game, it usually protects you from more, but breaks once you get hit, or damages more, but it breaks when you get hit. And then once something breaks, you get a glass shard, which is basically a dagger, and you can still just hit for 1 damage with the glass shard. Basically, the glass weapons are like literally a glass cannon item. It's super strong, but once you get hit, that's it. You're done, or you are now handicapped technically, and you are off scrounging for any other armor or helmet or weapon you could find just to get off of the penalty essentially you've given yourself. So with the glass weapons, same thing for me. Is like for it's like the obsidian weapons. I hope it's obsidian. I forgot the actual term, but they're basically like dark. They're like dark blue. They're really pretty looking weapons. But it's like those because the obsidian weapons hits harder the more your multiplier goes. But once you get hit, you just drop back down to 1 essentially. You know what I mean? With the glass weapon, just like I get really strong, but if I get hit, I get penalized for it.
Mm-hmm.
So what was your experience with the glass weapons then?
Oh, I would kill a few things and then get hit by some bullshit, and then I would try to fight, and then I wouldn't have the glass shard in my inventory, and then I would die.
And that would just be it for you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So yeah, there's definitely that aspect or that experience when I would realize, oh, I've screwed myself because I took a chance on this when I thought I had a run going. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I've been doing pretty good. I haven't gotten hit once at all yet. And then maybe it's like subconsciously, it's like in the back of my mind, is like, oh, now I have something I'm kind of worrying about. You know what I mean? So now I start second guessing every move that I make from that point on once I pick up the glass item. It's one of those modifiers that I'll take the shot on, and then hopefully I can keep it out of my head that, hey, don't get hit. You're gonna lose everything if you get hit. And continue on my run as I've been going, especially if I've been playing well. I can just kind of just keep playing, not think about it, and just keep about my day.
You're gonna lose everything if you get hit anyway in this fucking game. So who cares?
I mean, that's the thing. Just don't get hit. That's what I do.
Yeah, play absolutely perfectly every single time you play this stupid fucking game and these stupid fucking roguelikes.
Go to music school for 5 years, get a degree in it, and
Yeah,
just play Crypt Necrodancer.
get fucking good, scrub, dumb fucking loser.
With it's a little fun aside here. I actually used this game once to teach music to my kids, like my students.
Those poor children. No
God. I mean, like, they happen to enjoy it. So there's that. Especially like World 2. So like, you know, the mushrooms like attack on every 3 beats instead of attacking on every beat. It's kind of one of those things like, okay, learn how to count. You know what I mean? It's like and learn how to internalize counting and rhythm. You know, it's one of those, like, I use it as like a teaching tool. And funnily enough, yeah, like 3 of my students still play this game. I see them on. I don't have them as a teacher. I don't add any of my students on Steam or any other like gaming thing. You know, just I want to maintain professionalism and like a distance from my students. But every time I have like a Zoom lesson with them or an actual in-person instrumental lesson with them, they'd still mention, like, you know, it's like, oh hey, so I got to this point with this character. Is there like a way for me, or is there a way for me to like fight this thing safer? And you know, they ask me for tips for how to play this game, which I find funny that like I'm supposed to be a teacher and I'm just dragging them down the road of video games and not doing their homework.
But honestly, that should make you proud, because they are trying to break through walls in something so they can carry that over to music and they can be better musicians, because they are learning how to break through. They're learning how to be successful in things. Even if it is a video game, you can use the same skills, which is basically just study and practice and get better, right? And just keep on grinding. If it works in video games, it'll work in music, it'll work in writing, it'll work in anything else in life.
Yeah, it's one of those. Good. It's it's one of those things that like it's cool to see that there is a way for me to be able to translate my love of video games and anything that I enjoy into something productive for, you know, anything else, basically, right? You transfer those skills over.
Correct.
Did you mess around? Oh, go.
No, I'm going to tell you that it's funny. So when I sort of, I hate to always bring it back to this, but it was a really big time for me, is when, you know, I started putting in the work in Street Fighter 4 to sort of take that next level. And the amount of notes that I took and you know, studying and learning, I applied that to being in college, and I like got onto Dean's List. My GPA skyrocketed, even though I was, you know, dicking around playing video games a lot. I actually was doing better in school because I was learning how to take better notes. I was learning how to study better.
How to like put your head, like, you know, head down, focus kind of situation, right?
Right. And I think that I credit it to the work that I put into fighting games to get better, to teaching me how to study in school and how to, you know, how to best take notes and how I learned more effectively, right? I definitely think that if you're listening to this and you are someone who gets serious with any aspect of life, just keep in mind that you can transfer those skills, those same habits, those same things into anything else that you do. So, you know, don't think of it as just some stupid game, right? I think with our generation and sort of the generations coming up, I think people are understanding of games more than maybe our parents and grandparents would be. But don't think of these things as just stupid hobbies that, number one, you can't apply lessons that you've learned to other things in life. And I only say this because I'm someone who basically for the last, hour here, maybe 50 minutes, has railed against a game that I didn't put any time into and I don't want to get better at, which is also how I feel about complex mathematics, you know, algebra and trigonometry and all that.
Yeah, I don't need to do this, so I won't.
Right. I don't want to get better at that, so I'm not going to. But if you find something that you're passionate about and you do want to get better at it, then you'll put in the time and you'll do it. You can transfer those skills into other facets of your life. I just want to leave people with some positives here because, again, basically the entire answer to me is just get good, scrub. But, nah, I'm good.
This one's not for you. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Do you think this idea would work in other games? Like the idea of like mixing like a rhythm game with other games, because there are a couple that I've played and like looked into with rhythm mechanic. A game just came out last month called Soundfall, which is a like looter shooter, like like a top down view Diablo style rhythm game where like you can move freely because it's like a twin stick kind of deal, and then use your abilities on beat. Clearly, this idea I think has some. This is like I think the breakthrough of that idea, right? Do you think there are other games? Do you think there are other games that you could find that use this mechanic that you might enjoy more than being frustrated with this game?
Yeah, of course. Like the Bit Trip games are a lot of fun. They're I don't know if they're necessarily maybe all that rhythmic like this, but there's definitely some rhythm element associated with it, and they combine multiple genres. It's not just platformers, it's on rails shooters. In the case of Bit Trip Fate, there's a couple other different play styles in the Bit Trip series, but it can definitely work. Like you said, it already did work. It worked in this. It worked in Crypt of the Necrodancer. I just didn't like it.
I get you.
But there are rhythm like shooters. I can't tell you the name of the game right off the top of my head.
BPM is one of the big ones that I can think of.
Yeah, so
that
like
one's a first person.
Works.
You shoot, reload, dash, but you can move around freely, like with the left stick or your WASD. Yeah, but everything else, like shooting, reloading, your abilities, your dashing, that all has to be done on beat while still playing as a first person shooter. So yeah, like the idea I think is really cool, and I think there's absolutely something with this idea, because I don't think I've met anyone who genuinely dislikes music. You know what I mean? I know people who don't get music, so they don't, like they just like, oh no, I just listen to it. It's the beeps and the boops, and it's whatever, right? It's just kind of like noise to me, but I find noise that I enjoy. I think that with especially with like rhythm, you know what I mean? Like just like keeping a beat. I think that idea transfers really well into a lot of stuff. I mean, even like fighting games, right? You kind of like figure out there's like a rhythm to your combos, like your links and so there's that as well too.
The game I was thinking of was Amplitude, by the way.
That's another one too. Yeah,
it's a rhythm like space shooter.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it a bullet hell because it's not really a bullet hell unless you're playing
it's like a Galaga type thing, right? Isn't it?
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm thinking, like a space shooter.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. There's a term for that. I'm absolutely blanking on it right now.
I am too. I always call them all bullet hells, but unless you're playing
unless you're playing something actually there's a bullet like a Toho or something, then yeah, like it's not actually a bullet hell, I guess, per se.
Yeah, in this game, if you're playing like a Meshuggah song or something, then that's going to be bullet hell. But
speaking of which, did you mess with the music in the game? Because I remember I said before, you can go into the thing and change the menu and like mess with, like literally throw any music file in there you wanted to.
Yeah, no, the music's the good part. I'm not gonna mess with the music.
Yeah, like, cause I was it's one of the things. Maybe it's like, okay, maybe if I find something else, maybe if you found another song that you really really enjoy, the ins and outs of it, you kind of like, it's one of those songs that you kind of like auto rhythm to, auto tap your toe, headbang to. It's like maybe maybe it's just like a fresh coat of paint that gets you past the annoyances. I don't know. It's just an idea. It's maybe I want you to give this one more shot. Maybe down the line, give it a month break and try it again. Just to see if you change your mind on it. But again, you're not. Not ever. I'm surprised that you were actually like the first person who I recommended this game to, and just bounced off this game.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked. Like when it set in that like, oh, I don't like this. This is just not fun for me. It was weird to me because it was just like, I should really like this.
We were stoked. We were stoked for this episode.
We were.
Yeah, like it's fine. I guess we ripped the Band-Aid off where we finally found a game in our show, just relatively early, 3 episodes in, we found a game that one of us just did not like and just did not enjoy playing through. That's fair. I get it. Oh man. Okay. So is there? But I guess before we head off here, is there anything else you're currently playing at the moment?
So let's see here. What do I have on my recently?
Not related to the show. Anything you're playing at the anything you're currently playing.
Oh, I started playing. I finally started playing the Devil May Cry series. I've never played them before, and
really?
they were on sale, so I started playing those. I started with DMC 1. Like I said, I was doing a Slay the Spire run. I'm in a good spot here. But mostly I've just been grinding all the live service games that I play because I'm insane.
Yeah, I see you on what's the new one? The Diablo Dungeon Looter that everyone's playing right now?
My beloved Lost Ark.
Lost Ark, that's what it was. Yeah, I see you and a lot of my Steam friends actually playing the game on a regular still.
It's a fun game.
Yeah, I just don't have time.
You don't have time.
Yeah,
you do not have. What do I have? I have 91 hours in this game. It came out like what? When did I start playing this game? I don't even know. Yeah, no, you probably don't have 91 hours to dedicate to a game, but I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I kind of miss those days where I would play like Path of Exile and stuff like that, where I can just dump time into it and just get lost in. I mean, even as a kid, I played RuneScape, and that's absolutely like one of the biggest time sinks I could think of. Everything took so long to level up in that game.
Don't talk to me about time sinks with World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah,
both Destinies and
Destiny 2. Destiny 2. The new season came out for Destiny 2 a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I haven't played as much.
I haven't really been able to dip my toes into it. A couple of our raid group have gotten into it, and they're just grinding out. I haven't had a chance to get back in right now.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I bought Garfield cart for us.
Oh, there you go.
We'll have to play that.
Yeah, we'll get into that one day, I guess. I don't know if that's gonna be worthy of an episode. That'll just be a pretty short, just us dicking around, just playing Garfield cart.
That's gonna be the spinoff. It's just gonna be us playing Garfield cart.
Let's see. For me, yeah, again, I'm dipping my toes back into Destiny 2. I played a lot of Witch Queen. This most recent one, I don't even know the name of it. I have been slowly playing a couple hours every weekend or so. This past weekend, not so much because I had events going on, so I had to do that first before I got into. And by the time I got home, I was just done, so not happening. I've been playing a lot of Apex. This season is good. Ranked is in a weird spot because they nerfed hot dropping and just dropping kills works now. Like they give you so little experience. Like, so the way ranked works in that game is you pay like a fee to get into whichever ranked level you're in. And
that's weird.
So like at the lowest level, you lose nothing by losing. But at like they added a lower level below bronze, which is like copper, like iron or whatever, rookie, I think they call it. And before bronze, you lose nothing by jumping in and playing, and then once you get to silver, you lose like 12. You pay a fee of like 12 points to get in. And so you want to at least try to break even, right? Before it would be like 2 kills and you're basically even at that point. Or I think you'd be over at that point already. But now it's in bronze, you have to get like 5 kills in the beginning of the game to like break even. It's yeah, like I'm obviously exaggerating, but like you have to confirm these kills really a lot to get points for it, and you get more points for placement now. So it's like it kind of nerfed how playing with solos is. Like you can't really pub stomp as much now. Right. You want to go in with like a squad and play smart. You can still fight, but you just have to play smart and not get murdered early. And you want to play for like top 10 kind of deal.
Oh, yeah. So we should totally play a game with like a ranked feature, because then we can talk about our feelings on ranked gameplay.
Oh yeah,
because I think we have a lot on that.
Yeah, I have a lot of opinions that have changed in the last couple of years on ranked, and even right now it's changing again. There's definitely a time in my life where ranked was the only thing I did. There was absolutely that.
Same.
Yeah, and yeah, so like Destiny 2, Apex, and I've been playing Cyber Shadow for another just want to smash my controller type of game. Really good game.
This looks cool. This looks up my alley.
Cyber Shadow.
Is this a rhythm roguelike?
No, no. You have to just leave on that one. Cyber Shadow is Ninja Gaiden. Basically, it's like a modernized Ninja Gaiden.
This looks so cool.
It's hard. It's really pretty. I believe that one was made by one guy, and it is published by Yacht Club Games.
All right, we're installing
it's
this.
sick. Yeah, if you just want to play that one, we can absolutely just get you into that one. The game is decently long too. Like, maybe we could do an episode on this down the line after we've both gotten through this game. This game has been sitting in my library for like ever since like it released, like day one. And I think at the time I was just grinding something else out at the time, so I just never got around to it. But yeah,
do you play this on keyboard or do you play it on controller?
I tried both. It is doable on both, but I grew up in a controller era.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I remember playing the original Ninja Gaiden on Nintendo, so it's like it's hard for me to play this like without a controller in my hand.
Nah, I dig it.
That being said, I do have friends who play on keyboard and on fight pads for like for platforming games, which is wild to me.
Yeah, that is strange.
Yeah, they do it, but if they can make it happen, they make it work, right? Why not? Okay, cool. So I guess that is the end of our episode here. Again, sorry, Jeff, for putting you through this one. Maybe we'll find another rhythm integrated roguelike game that maybe you'll enjoy more down the line. We'll keep. Well, I'm gonna keep swinging at this. I'm gonna find something for you here. Okay, cool. So yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us here, and yeah, hope to see you guys in the next episode.
Going to play fucking Hades.
Bye. So I saw you playing a little bit more today. How much time did you get into this game?
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Please don't lose this, because I'm gonna have one shot basically to talk about the game at like an entertaining level.